Hello everyone. How are you guys doing? Good. Ready to continue on with our project from last week? Did you guys do any work on it on your own? You did? Okay, I found out that you guys have 7 courses, so that's a very full load. So unless you have homework, I don't expect you to be doing these things. And we should have enough time in the class to basically be able to keep on working on our projects. So let's look at what we are going to do today. Our main task today is to continue with and finish the calculator app that we started last week. We'll implement the basic arithmetic operations, the 4 operators that we added to the display there. We'll do operations on 2 numbers. We'll look at what happens if we want to add or perform these operations on a series of numbers. Like let's say you've got a list and you're just adding all of them up. And then we'll look at what happens if there are multiple operations. Let's say the first one, a plus b minus c or a plus b into c, all of that. So we'll look at that. This we already did, advanced grouping and layout. This we did last week, actually. So use cases, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and again operations on multiple numbers. These are the use cases. Where we will start today is, last week I mentioned the model view controller way of designing applications. How many of you have heard that before, model view controller, MVC? So what that does is MVC what we did last week was this is our view. We designed a view for the calculator. And by default, Android creates, every time you add an activity to a project, it creates whatever name you give it, .java, as a class. So that is your controller. What does the controller do? It allows you to change the view. It allows you to accept input from the view, all of that. So this we designed, this we have to work on. Right now, last week where we stopped was it was accepting just a touch on the numbers. That much the controller was doing. Today we have to go beyond that. So we'll do that. Before we get to that, I want us to think about the model. A model is basically how something behaves, the behavior. So this is how it looks. This is the interaction, and this in turn makes changes to the model. So the view doesn't change the model. View goes to the model through the controller. So the controller will accept it. A number has been pressed, right? A digit has been pressed. It's the controller's job to know whether to update the model or not. And if yes, then what to do. So what is this model? Like when we are talking about a calculator, it's behavior. What is the behavior we are expecting? That is what we need to think about and design. Okay? So look at this here. This is our view. Now, we talked about use cases. Let's take a very simple case. We want to do a plus b. Give me some numbers for a and b. 2 plus 3. Okay, let's make it more than 1 digit each. So we are dealing with a little bit of complexity. 22 plus 33, right? So how will you do this? What is the first thing you will do? You just started the app. What's the first button you press? 2, right? So we press the 2. Then we again press the 2. And then operator. And then again. Right? So this is the sequence of events that is happening. In our model, we need to know when a digit is being pressed, when the app is started, that we are, so far, we're just talking about the first number. And as soon as an operator is pressed, we know that the user has finished typing the first number, right? So, 2, 2. Right now, our app, what it does is, okay, I'm not going to run it here because there seems to be a conflict between the emulator and the recorder. So if I run that, it's going to crash the recording and I want it to record the lecture. So run it on your machines, and as you press the number, we are changing the display, right? It's just adding the digits, appending, not adding, it's appending to that. So while the numbers are being pressed, the controller is receiving. So you press a 2, so in the display, a 2 appears. You press another 2, so this will shift and another 2 will appear, like that. So now it is showing 22 at this point, and we pressed plus. What should we do with this 22? Clear that, or we can keep on displaying it, but we know that now the user has finished entering the first number. So in our model class, we could have a variable called first number. So when the operator is pressed, we assign its value is 22, right? And then also within the model class, we also need to store the operator. So at this point, we know what the operator is also. Because plus was pressed, if it was minus, it would be minus. If it was multiplication, it would be multiplication. So we assign this to plus. Now what happens is, right now if you were to say 22 plus 33, it's ignored. It will ignore the click on the plus. It will just say 2233, right? So at this point now, after the operator has been set, we know that now whatever, if there are any digits pressed, they belong to the second number, this here. So we need another variable here called second number. And just like that, the user may keep on entering digits. But at some point, the user has to press something else, otherwise they're just entering the numbers. They can press another operator. Let's take a simple case right now, that the user is just doing this, a plus b equal to, and they want to see the result. We'll deal with other cases. We'll build this model up. So when they're finished pressing the digits, they'll press equal to. And that's when we know what our second number is. Until then, we keep appending it to the display field here. So we pressed 22, then plus, and then we start entering this, so it will enter 3, whatever number, and then equal to. That will allow us to place this into memory as the second number. And because equal to was pressed, now we can do what? We can do the computation. We can, using the first number in the operator and the second number, we can calculate a result. So if this is plus, this will be 22 plus 33. If it was minus, it will be 22 minus 33, whatever it is, the operator. So this is the basic functionality of the model. This is our model. The model keeps track of what is the first number, what is the operator, what is the second number, and what is the result. And there may be cases, for example, there may be error messages if you divide by 0. The model needs to take those things into account. So we'll add those as we build. But we'll start with the most basic use case, A plus B, or A operator B equal to whatever it is, right? So now our